Good morning.
Good morning. How we doing?
Good. I'm having like a little ski weekend come down right now.
Ooh,
How many coffees do we have in us right now?
No coffees. That's also the problem. I ran out of coffee and I didn't realize that until this morning.
oh, it's brutal.
But I have tea, so it's like it's doing the job.
It's
kind of.
something. It's something.
Something.
We'll
It's a
take it.
liquid.
It's a liquid. Well, how's it been? It's been 2 weeks? I've been gone for 2 weeks. Good to see you guys again. Thanks for holding down the fort. Brandy, as always, looking great. How was the time? How was the time skiing? Basically,
It was good. I was injured like most of the last couple of months. So this was my first time out. I only got like one full day in and 2 runs in yesterday or on Saturday. I'm listening to my body, but Mount Tremblant is incredible. I had never been before and so cute. The mountain is great. They really there's a lot of people and you get spread out, which is nice. So now I'm prepped for my big trip in March, hopefully.
Where are you going in March?
Big Sky.
Big Sky. Ooh, Big Sky, Montana. I like it.
Did you see Louis?
I didn't. We kept trying to meet up back and forth, but he was doing stuff with his family. And then when I was free, it was just all this back and forth. But now that I know kind of like how easy it is to get up there, I might go back again in the end of March. But and hopefully I can see him then.
Beautiful. Well,
Incredible.
I'm jealous.
Yeah. You guys were both gone last week, so I know we'll have we'll have more to share on that in the coming months, I guess, maybe a little bit longer. No, we got a while, but so update, some sneak peek on some things. But Jamie Lane, how you been? What's going on? How's Air DNA?
Yeah, good. Big update on the personal front. The kids are gone for the week. They are on winter break, and the in-laws took them down to South Florida for 6 days.
Wow.
Let's go.
Oh yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Free. You're free.
We have 2 dinner dates planned. It's
incredible. It's incredible.
You're just gonna enjoy silence.
You're gonna have to talk to each other.
It feels so freeing. Yeah. Have today off. Gonna go get lunch with a buddy. Go for a run. I don't know.
Yeah.
Look at this. Jamie, this is a whole new lease on life for this week.
The possibilities are
This
endless.
is what retirement's like.
Yeah. I think I'm ready for retirement. Yeah.
So good. How about you, Golden? What's new? Same old?
No, I traveled last week and had a great time. Saw some great
Saw
people.
your favorite co-host.
Saw a wonderful co-host along with some additional people I've met many times and others that were new. So another reason why I love the industry until the trip home, and then I don't love some parts of travel can be very hard. So
Yeah.
But our friends took care of it, and it ended up being all right. So
It all works out in the end.
it all works out. You know,
Well,
you can't get too mad at certain circumstances. You just got to ride with it.
Gotta go with the flow.
100%. Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, we got some great topics for today. A lot of OTA talk. I know there were some earning calls that happened last week. Plus, we had a fun little story break on Friday that we're going to jump into. So, you guys ready to begin?
Let's do it.
All right. Topic number 1. Brian Chesky disses rival chatbots, calling Airbnb's AI impossible to replicate. But what AI do they have? We haven't seen it. We don't know.
I'll go first and then let Jamie come in with all the professional stuff. All right. Chesky dissing rival chatbots. I love it. Chatbots are not the answer. That's not like the future of AI in a big way. Does Airbnb have data that's impossible to replicate? No. The other OTAs have a lot of data. Or more, because they know flights.
I'm siding with Jamie on this one.
They know flights. They know car reservations. Do they know more personal data? Like, do they have your driver's license on file? Maybe, but probably not. But they know a lot more about your travel habits than Airbnb, unless Airbnb's been crawling our data for years, which is very possible too. So, Jamie? Take the opposite position.
So again, and the earnings call is so great. The questions from all the Wall Street analysts. My buddy Richard Clark with Bernstein, with his excellent British accent, comes in with a question of, okay, Brian, like, given the speed of innovation in AI, why can't these AI platforms just eventually launch their own short-term rental marketplaces? So essentially saying, is AI going to replace you? And clearly Brian had rehearsed this response with essentially what they have and why. And it's not just the consumer facing app of the inventory that you're going to book, and their host platform, customer service, and they processed over almost $100 billion in payments, 200 million verified properties. And then, the thing that I think is most important for Airbnb versus the other OTAs is the unique inventory. And so they have done the hand-to-hand combat to get all of that unique inventory on their platform that doesn't exist anywhere else. And if you believe that all these hosts are going to connect their inventory to an AI chatbot or make their inventory available through other platforms, like it's just so hard. So when we say data, like their unique data is their access to and know who all these hosts are, and 5.5 million hosts around the world that are willing to host people. Like that is data that only they have. So I think that is a big thing. And then, the other, I think that I thought was kind of funny was Airbnb is clearly pushing into the connected trip. So you listen to booking.com and they talk extensively about their connected travel and how you're going to book your flight, your experience, your hotel, your alternative lodging. And I think it was the first time I heard Brian say it, but he was talking about the Airbnb trip that is going to be inclusive of everything you're going to do when you go to travel, not just your stay. So that was a little tidbit.
First time in 5 years.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, my favorite part about it, and the reason why I think, like, not, to Michael's point, yeah, maybe every other OTA, Expedia, Booking, etc., has all this information. So is Airbnb's data really that special? Yes and no. But I think what Brian really is addressing here, and I'm going to read from the article that I like, is that he's saying, like, it can't provide global payment processing, customer support, insurance by layering AI over the entire Airbnb experience. We believe that building something that's impossible to replicate. In the terms of like where AI actually matters, like everyone rolled out the chatbot, everyone rolled out the Ask AI bot thing that can answer frequently asked questions or questions that are live based on the data set that you already have on your website, or a random database of FAQs. But the things that we really need AI to do, it's not doing, like, at all. So the payment processing piece, the customer support, all really important things. And so I'm kind of actually happy that Airbnb is moving really slow on AI and not just rolling out another open AI like ChatGPT integration. But that's my point of view.
Yeah, I agree. I have been not like anti chatbot, but I just find that that's not like the most exciting thing that can be done. So it's like, how can you, I even think like on the boring side, like with the payments for hosts, how can you help with like bank reconciliation and payment? Like, because going through, especially if you have any sort of volume on Airbnb, going back through and reconciling everything that comes to the resolution center and then all of your deposits and all of this stuff. So if they can use AI to help hosts on that end, that's something that's really interesting. The Airbnb trip, I love, he's a dreamer, but when he said a traveler might book an experience or a service and then discover the home. That is not the order of operations. I don't think anyone's going on Airbnb and being like, I'm going to book this in-home nail appointment in a location I'm not at and a place I don't have yet. So I get what he's trying to say, that, you know, these different pieces of the ecosystem will continue to feed each other. I believe that experiences is doing better. I'm still, until there's some real numbers. He said half of experience bookings were not attached to an accommodation, but like still, like what I feel like we'll need a full year of their.
Is that 100,
rollout.
1,000? Yeah, 10,000 experiences. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, and they're still only going after 2 major markets on the experiences and services. They're doing services in LA, and they are doing extensive marketing to people that live in LA. So I don't think we can take too much from just this one experiment in this one city. The other thing that I did want to bring up, though, from the earnings call that I thought was really interesting was around the and how they accelerated growth. So they had been seeing some deceleration. They got nights booked to 10% growth again. And then there was 3 things that they said sort of led to that reacceleration. One was Reserve Now, Pay Later, which is sort of bringing forward sort of bookings. 2 was updated cancellation policies, making those cancellation policies more lenient. So getting rid of strict, added in limited. And then the other was the migration to the simplified fee structure, which we talked about it last October. It was a big topic. And we had talked about how a lot of the hosts didn't lower their prices. And like Ellie called it out. She's like, yeah, a lot of hosts didn't lower their prices. And what happens when people have lower prices? We see more bookings happen. And that they actually saw an acceleration in bookings for those properties where they didn't increase their rates to cover the fee change, and where essentially guests are getting a discount. And they saw more people book those properties as they're now about 15% cheaper. So what?
No way.
Who would have
No
thought?
way. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, that just goes into, continuing. I mean, as managers, just the commission creep of everything, but
yeah.
I'll go back to one more comment on that they have more data than everybody. It's true. They have more aggregated data than everybody, but you can find more property and market specific information on property managers' websites. And that's the good thing about the LLMs is they crawl everything to find the right answers. So other OTAs have a lot of data. Individual sites have a lot of data, not aggregated though. And that's the great equalizer. And that's where things can go either to the consolidators or to the onesie twosies. And that's what we don't know yet. So I'm fascinated to see how that plays out.
Yeah, so be interesting. Well, speaking of Airbnb, though, we're going to keep moving on with another topic around them. And Jamie, I want you to take the lead on this one because it's got lots of numbers and lots of data. And we know it's a Monday morning over here. So the next topic is a new report shows how short-term rentals can help meet the demand during the LA 28, which is the Olympics, right?
Yeah, that's LA 28 Olympics. So this came from the Airbnb newsroom. Essentially, they commissioned a study from Deloitte. They did the same thing the World Cup to figure out how many people are expected to come, how much lodging there is in the city, and in the World Cup study, it was each of the cities. And then is there more accommodation that needs to be added to accommodate all these travelers coming in? And essentially, they found that most nights in the Olympics, there's not going to be enough accommodation, especially since we've seen such a pretty big decrease in overall supply in LA since the regulations really went into being enforced in late 2019. So you had regulations go into effect, you had COVID, and it really decimated inventory in Los Angeles. In most of the city of Los Angeles, short-term rentals are still severely restricted. Santa Monica, Beverly Hills, severely restricted. In parts of unincorporated Los Angeles County, you can still add in Hermosa Beach, a lot of different areas you can add in. But essentially what they're saying is that for the Olympics, we need to figure out a way to add more supply into the market. If not, you're going to have people staying further and further away, and that is going to impact LA's ability to really capture all the travel spend that's going to happen around the event.
Yeah, this is just another example. We've talked about it for the World Cup of having these like temporary, easings of regulations. Michael's talk about the Augusta 2 weeks that happen in Georgia, to accommodate for the Masters. This just makes sense. Like there's so many people, and also getting around LA. Sorry, my voice is going. It's a nightmare. So I think this just kind of like, they paid a lot of money for a study that's like, yeah, you need this. This seems kind of like a no-brainer to me. Hopefully that's as simple for the city council.
Yeah.
The Augusta rule took effect in 1976. This is 50 years ago. This is not a new problem. You have surges in markets that don't have enough hospitality to fulfill. And therefore, as a primary resident, you can get a tax break even by leaving your house and renting it to somebody for up to 2 weeks tax-free. So this is a perfect use case of what Airbnb is excellent at. And they know it because they go and sponsor the Olympics and they go and sponsor probably the World Cup. Unconfirmed on that one, but they do. Okay. So this is like exactly their use case. And it goes back to the roots. They started the company because there was a surge for a political event in San Francisco. So they're smart to lean into it. This is their lane for sure. But it's also nothing new. It's 50-year-old law.
Yeah. No, great point. Well, let's move on to the next one because we got a couple of good juicy ones here on these next couple topics. So Expedia's Q4 earnings shows that B2B surges buys time for Vrbo and Hotels.com. So Jamie, I'm gonna pass it off to you again because you were the guy that actually listened to the earning calls. But
bold assumption.
Yeah,
we should really do that.
We really should be, but I don't even know where to get them. Jamie just knows where all the good links are.
Just Google Expedia Investor Relations and it'll bring right up the call. There's also a really great app I can send you guys where you can queue them up just like a podcast and listen to it on your walks.
Perfect.
It's great. So Expedia, like Airbnb, had blockbuster numbers this quarter. Gross bookings up 11%, nights booked 10%. Both stocks saw bumps after earnings. Like it was a good quarter. There was this expectation that things could have been weak this quarter with what's happening around international travel and weakening overall economy. But essentially what we saw from the data was consumers are spending. Expedia continues to lean into B2B. Like that is the massive growth lever for them. And I love the Skift headline of like B2B is just crushing it. So like hotels and Vrbo have time to make up the pace. I'd say both Vrbo and hotels weren't mentioned much in both the call or the questions. Though the comments were that both were growing, they're and just the fact that they're both growing is really positive news in terms of both bookings and inventory. Expedia called out that they saw 10% growth in overall lodging inventory, so that's pretty decent growth at this time of their sort of and trajectory. So overall, I took away from this sort of earnings, and we'll get booking this week too, was that travel is growing strong. And even in the US, North America, we're seeing 5% growth in overall bookings. So overall things are looking pretty healthy.
How long do you think we can continue that trend, Jamie?
forever.
How?
I love that.
How will
Hell
that-
Why not? You know?
I don't know. With a weakening economy, it's like, okay, well, how if the economy is getting weaker, international travel isn't popping off like it once was, at least for the U.S. How can that be sustainable in terms of growth?
No, I do think we're through some of the weakness in the economy, like 2025 on the employment side, and we had to absorb new tariffs. We saw the impact of the pullback of international travel. So as we look now to 2026, we've got World Cup. We're sort of lapping some of that weakness. So like, remember all the uncertainty we saw after Liberation Day in 2025 through April, May, June, stock market taking major hits. Now we get to grow off of that in 2026. I do think we're through some of the slowness. Q1, I think is going to be pretty good. And then this summer, I think we actually see pretty strong overall booking numbers. And we've been looking at pacing in our data for this summer. Like, it's not just the World Cup markets, it's across the entire country that's seeing strong booking numbers. So I'm actually feeling better than I had been recently around and how 26 is gonna turn up.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can't just depend on World Cup though. That's the one thing. If we're depending on World Cup, we're screwed. But
we've also got some changes in the tax plan from the big beautiful bill, sort of the no tax on tips. That's now actually showing up in people's paycheck. That didn't actually start until 2026. So there is some pretty significant tailwinds for the economy this year versus last.
And if you didn't update your pricing on Airbnb, it's 15% cheaper this year. So go book your stay now. I guess one other comment to double click into the Skift article on Expedia's earnings. Because of all the back end work that they've done with Vrbo, hotels.com, etc., their sites are 30% faster now than a year ago. And we all know that speed leads to better conversions. So they put in several years of work to get the back end where it is. And we're just now starting to see, like Ariane said, 2 quarters in a row of growth from Vrbo is a very good positive step for all of us in the industry. We want healthy competition across the OTAs as well as with direct bookings.
Yeah, all that pain and suffering of that technical debt redoing is finally paying off.
100%. The technical debt talk that we've had for 2 years around Vrbo. Yeah. Sorry, Tim. Didn't mean to drag out the timeline if it was shorter, but yeah, we know he's listening. This is really good. Really good topic. I'm glad that it is. I'm glad that Jamie's more optimistic. I'll say that when Jamie's in a good mood about the economy and the data and the trends, I'm happy. But when he's not, he's kind of like our groundhog. You know, it's like does he see a shadow? Does he not? Like what's going on here today? So it's always good. It's always good. We do have a good comment though from Annette on LinkedIn, saying she's good to hear positive news and lots of optimism and sustainable growth questions. How does the K-shape of the economy affect the hospitality industry, for example, labor? Anyone want to take that?
I'll take the first part and someone else can answer the labor part. But I chatted actually on this topic with Stuart Greif of Forbes Travel, and his take is we know the K-shape, the luxury is doing well. The rest of the market is not doing so hot. But what's starting to happen within the upper side of the K is another K, where people are starting to trade back down into a double K, right? People where the high end is still running, but that's fine. But people's tolerance to continue to spend $1,000 a night for a hotel room is waning, and people are trading down coming into this year. So that helps some of the upscale, not luxury brands, but it's interesting to kind of now see bifurcation within the bifurcation.
Definitely Inception.
Yeah. K Inception. Well, the labor question, I think we probably would need some more labor data on that. I think though, if anyone is like hiring for hospitality, I think continues to be, I mean, not that it is necessary. It can be hard to find good people depending on how like labor constrained your market is, but everything that like it's more expensive. So if you're kind of these lower to middle tier operators, I feel that's where like the squeeze is, because cost of living is going up. Wages have to try to match that, even though they're not really, but then you're not able to get the bookings and the rates that you need. So that's definitely where a squeeze is happening.
Yeah.
Yep. No, we definitely see that. Margins and more pressed. Like labor costs are going up, revenue and ADRs aren't going up. So something's got to budge. And right now it's and your profit that's budging right now. So that's where there's more and more pressure to save expenses, other pieces on the balance sheet on your P&L is you sort of need the labor into the property and you can't get away without it most times.
100%. Well,
I'll lead into this one, Will.
Oh, okay. All right.
We had some drama within the short-term rental industry late last week. And one of us on this podcast today wrote an incredible article, did some digging, has some facts exclusive to GMH and Skift. So Will, share a little bit about it.
Yeah, you got it. Well, Casago power shift sparks franchise exit talk. So for the listeners and live viewers, if you don't know, Casago, a franchise-focused property management company, bought Vacasa, a publicly traded company, took them private, and now, as the board has made, I guess, a decision to swap out Steve Schwab, CEO and founder of Casago, with the president, who is Joe Riley, has caused some ruffled feathers. And so it sounds like a good decision on the release that they put out. But when we all saw this drama on Thursday night wrap out, I started reaching out to some franchisees that I knew and had to keep anonymous. So found out there's a lot of them that are really unhappy about the decision. And Brandy was making a comment behind the scenes, which is very true to the sentiment that was around these conversations, is that a lot of the franchisees bought in, not just to Casago as a brand, but to Steve Schwab as a leader, to the values, the ethos that he built. And so to have him, removed from a leadership position like this, kind of dampens things, right? Like and I know there's been other comments I couldn't really put in there, but yeah, I'll just let you guys ask some questions because I have to be careful on what I say due to a lot of it being off record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Brandy.
No, I think it's one of these things when you see someone who has built this great brand and where culture is this culture is as much like Costco as it is like Steve Schwab. They kind of like are, together in that.
Brandy, your mic, you tapped your mic button.
Oh, no.
There you go. There you go. You're back.
I'm back.
Yeah.
But you just said Steve is the reason why a lot of people are there, right? And so it's just like this quick, like all of a sudden, I feel like the optics of this are really, really bad. I haven't been able to talk to any franchisees in the last couple of days, but I can imagine you're like, hey, wait, I bought in to this really difficult business that requires a lot of my time and energy and emotional and literal capital. And because I'm following a person, and then like it feels like a bit of a bait and switch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as Terry White said, it was kind of the shortest honeymoon he's ever seen, and I can agree with that. It was a pretty short period, and it just seems like, with what we know from the Vacasa portfolio, about 90% of the inventory was sold off to franchisees or up and coming franchise owners, which is great. And there's other deals like we saw 1,000 contracts go to Evolve. We saw some pieces be shed off through other areas outside of the franchise category. But that still came with its own pains and headaches, right? There's a lot of stuff that I wasn't able to put in there as well, but not a great move. And then this was like the sentiment I got from this is private equity doing what it does best: ruins companies, sucks the soul out, and that's about it. But that's just me. I'm coming in a little hot.
Not to defend private equity, but this is a private company. This isn't really private equity yet. But also, like, there's so many moving pieces in this. Like, I'm huge Steve Schwab fan. Just interviewed him on the STR Data Lab and sort of talked through the pain and over the past year of getting this done. Like, it's been 8 or 9 months, and Steve said he hasn't taken a single day off since then. Like, they're doing trying to and essentially change a business model for 30,000 listings while you're continuing to operate in the company that you were already doing, and the company was shedding cash prior, and needing to change that business model without going out of business on yourself. Like, it's been a huge effort for Steve, huge effort for Joe, huge effort for John, JB. Like, there's so definitely tough to see and the sort of infighting here, but I'm rooting for Steve, rooting for Casago on all to work out and they all get through it.
For the listeners, just to state some facts for you, Thursday night we saw a piece that said Steve was going to be replaced on the 13th of February, but that came out on the 13th that he is not going to be replaced as CEO until later in October, where Joe Riley will step in, who is currently the president. So that is where the drama came in. That's where a lot of the oh my gosh, what's going on type of conversations kicked in. So there could be more updates throughout the next couple of months that we'll keep an eye on, and we'll obviously continue to discuss as the story develops. Because if this is true, where the franchisees are talking about exiting, I think this could make a real impact on that decision that the board, I'm pretty sure, made without fully knowing.
Yeah, a couple comments, most of which have already been made. PE is not always known for being the kings of culture. Some firms do a good job of it, but in this case, they've melded together old Vacasa boards, new board members, previous executives, current executives, and there's just a lot of conflicting interests there. And that's that's got to be tough for every board member, because they're all fighting for their capital positions and what's best for them. So that's got to be hard. Second, I do think, I think you said it, Will, but there is an underestimation of how people specific this industry is. And the transactions happen with the guests. You still have to deliver high quality, but your relationships in this case with Casago is with the market owners, and then the market owners with the homeowners. And if the homeowners keep seeing more and more chaos, then that's going to frustrate the market owners. And if the market owners bought in because of one person in particular or a leadership team in particular, the knock-on effect is just going to be disastrous. So I've actually heard of a pretty cool clause that I will start writing into contracts after this, called the key man clause, or an MVP clause. So if you're signing up and a large part of that is because of a single person, then you can actually get out of a contract if that person leaves, booted, whatever.
Yeah, it's a great clause. Yeah,
it's a good little nugget for later.
Sign me up. There is one comment though, kind of what you were saying to Michael, but when I posted this on Friday, Joshua Viner, I believe, with Travel AI, commented, "I truly feel for the homeowners and the employees that just want quality service and steady leadership. It has been, Vacasa has been the name in the industry that has just constantly had issue after issue after issue, along with Sonder and many other companies. And so to see this happen is, I feel that sentiment. I feel bad for the employees who are excited and bought on the vision. I feel bad for the homeowners, the franchisees that came in, that were pre-existing. It sucks. It's out of your control for the most part, it feels like. And so I get why everyone's upset. and I get why there's maybe some whispers in the background, but I hope it all works out for the best and that Steve continues to have a good head on his shoulder. So you'll see a good light at the end of the tunnel either way. I believe that. But sweet. Anyways, great episode today. It's good to be back with you guys. Always a fun way to start the week. Anything you guys are looking forward to outside of having today off, kid free? What do we got going on this week?
I'm staying in one location, and that hasn't happened in a while, so pretty pumped.
Plus, Brandy's going right back to bed after this.
Yeah.
So.
Not feeling too hot, if you can't tell.
I was trying to get my son to come back in the picture when you said a kid-free day, but that's just Jamie.
Well, Jamie, anything going on for you this week?
Just working and enjoying the kid-free life.
I like it. All right. Golden, traveling again, or are you back to same old?
We might pop down somewhere on the weekend, but that's about it. Nothing. My brother and his kids are in town this week, so we're gonna have plenty of fun going on.
Lovely. All right, guys. Well, happy Monday. Thank you to all the listeners and live viewers, as always, for making this show a little bit more exciting, a little bit more fun. And we'll see you guys on Wednesday with our hotel crew, and then we'll be back again next Monday. See you then.